The View does not want you to see this because this exchange they had with Morgan Freeman has been scrubbed from everywhere on the internet for its terrible optics as the panel tried to drown out his nature documentary in the noise of ugly racialism. Take a look at this for yourself and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm one of those people who's very, very interested in this subject, life on the planet. You understand that today, life on the planet is in a little bit of trouble. And we're the cause of it.
That's right.
There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. I mean, 6 times, large portions of life. Not human life we're talking just life. Gone, destroyed. We're headed for another one. Scientists have said if we don't hurry up and change our ways, there's going to be a cataclysmic event.
Now, in retrospect, anyone that's watched the documentary Life on Our Planet knows how it tries hard not to veer close to the political scientism of the climate change debate, and instead stretches the perspective to millions of years to reveal how human activity is hardly even a blip on the timeline for a planet that has gone through so much worse than we ever could do. So tell me, how on earth do you disrespect a legend like Morgan Freeman like this, either putting him on the back foot politically or trying to use him in his documentary as a talking head for your politics? By the way, do subscribe to Millionaire Mentor for the pro-America and anti-globalist truth that you won't find on the mainstream media. Now, I gotta say, what blows my mind is that the short clip you watched is literally half of the entire 2 or so minutes that Morgan Freeman was even allowed to speak about his documentary, or at least that's what we got unless they cut out a large segment, which is a whole other level of disrespect. But watch how the panel just couldn't help but steer the conversation to political waters every time that he spoke.
You look back, and this series does that. How far back does life exist on this planet? And why does it still exist? It is because life is tenacious. Life. We're not talking about human beings here. We're talking about the planet.
Yeah.
She'll stay.
Yeah.
Well, it's tenacious if we would just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And the human interruption of all of that is what's causing all the problems. I hope that it's not too late. But let me ask you this, Jeff. Seeing the rise and fall of all these species, because some are coming in too, right? And many are leaving the planet. Did that change your perspective on life?
My perspective on life, I don't think it changed my perspective. It just enhanced it. Because for a long time now, I've been listening to what they say about, I drive an electric car.
Did Joy Behar really say human interruption is causing all the problems? I cannot understand how wrong and myopic that statement is, apart from just being a political one. There's an element of this kind of climate scientism where humans are perceived as an outside impact upon nature, when we're actually just a part of it. And I think this is exactly where truly dangerous and wrong political philosophies can come from, like Malthusian economics that thinks of humans on Earth in crude zero-sum games, and even antinatalism on the extreme that views the human race itself as a net negative. There's no way you're taking Morgan Freeman in that direction, so Sonny Hostin tried another trick with him.
I want to ask you about a different documentary.
Go ahead.
As some politicians around the country try to erase Black history, you're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past, including this documentary that you executive produced called 761st. Did I get that right? Yeah, 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers, about the first Black battalion to fight in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes, and you served in the Air Force. I know that. This film was then very personal to you.
Oh, yes, having start in the 40s and move up. And how many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
Yeah.
There were servants.
They
were always. I
stuff.
know it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch old movies, Betty Davis movies are particularly, even though she's great, and
It's the period
it's not
of
her
time
fault.
that
it's
the
the
movies
period.
were made.
Yeah.
It's
just what
upsetting
they
to
were
watch.
doing.
To tell you the
Well,
truth.
it shouldn't be that way
It
because
is.
somebody did make money.
Yeah.
You know, that's the time.
Was
Now
what
look
was.
at today, things we were always in flux.
Yeah.
Always.
But we've always been here.
Yeah.
Fluxing out.
Flux. Exactly.
I had a question, but we run out of time. Listen, this is extraordinary, this document.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Please
I
keep
agree.
making.
Well, in that case, I don't know how Joy Behar feels about this young photo of her wearing blackface, because that's what happens when you think you can retrospectively lecture people before you for the exact moral evolution that you now benefit from. And honestly, I'm so glad Morgan Freeman didn't take the bait, because both of these documentaries were very easy to take into a crude political direction with climate change and race relations in this country. And I think there's a reason for that when, as a proud African American of 85 years old, you've seen the evolution of this country's race relations firsthand. You know better than to use this as a moral cudgel. Morgan Freeman has been part of Hollywood for more than 60 years at this point, having seen the impact of the civil rights movement on portrayals in the film industry. And he's already answered questions like this many times, including this clip of him at Oxford Union, when shut down all of these race baiters using his illustrious life and career to rubber stamp their identity politics.
What is your view of the issue of race in Hollywood?
I don't think there is an issue of race in Hollywood. Somewhere back there in the 70s, the decision was made by almost all and sundry that we have to start open casting. Now, if you look on television, you pretty much see the range of cultural, that's not the right word because we all belong to the same culture. Anyway, but you see everybody.
It is such a jolt of reality when he said we belong to the same culture, because that's deeper than you think. The modern left's view of unity is inherently brittle because it starts by dividing people into collective groups and then tries to create harmony across them between those lines. But there's a better way to do it, to not have those lines to begin with, and to not even speak in terms of race, whether it's today or across history. And that's why this video wouldn't be complete without this timeless wisdom from Morgan Freeman on racism that is more relevant today than it ever has been before.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
No, I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman. You're going to say, well, I know this white guy named Mike Wallace.
And I'll take Morgan Freeman's word for it above any one of these talking heads on The View or the pundits on mainstream media, because we've already seen what identity politics can do to a country that is yearning for unity, especially over the last decades. But you let me know in the comments what you thought about this incredible exchange, because you can always go back and learn something new from Morgan Freeman.